Hi, my name is Dylan Drobish. I am a performer that also goes by the name of Dylan Dickersoon, and I'm a trans man. And I'm here to talk a little bit about the bathroom, because the bathroom can be an interesting place for trans people, and I'm always of the belief that education, especially for people who don't know a lot about trans people, is one of the most important things out there, as far as getting people to understand and not be afraid. I think a lot of the things that happen to trans people, some of the more negative occurrences, beatings, harassment, stems from some level of ignorance, and that level can be pretty extreme in a lot of cases, and maybe in other cases you just don't know. Now, the most important thing about education and educating yourselves, especially when talking to trans people or trying to get information about their experiences, is knowing, what questions to ask, and more importantly, how you ask them. And talking about the bathroom and why it's such an important factor for trans people is it's a symbol for trans people. It's something in our society that is so rigidly defined between genders, and making that transition from one bathroom to the other, that represents a very large piece of the transition for them. It represents coming into that space that they know they've always been a part of, that they have wanted to have the right to belong to for such a long time. A place they should have had access to from the day they were born. And it represents, that social circle of whichever gender they identify with. And that symbol, especially early on into transition, is really important. And, psychologically, trans people, you go through your entire life, for the most part, I am making a generalization here, but trans people go through periods of their lives where they feel like they just don't fit, and they want a marker of being able to fit. They want a marker of being normal, and being able to choose which bathroom they want to go into is kind of that marker for them. Normal is not maybe the best word to put there, but they want to be treated like everyone else. They wanted to be treated like the people they identify with. They want you to see them as people, and they want to be allowed into spaces just like everyone else. And the bathroom is just so important, and it's so terrifying, because everybody in transition recognizes how important that is. That these are spaces for men and these are spaces for women. And now it's my time to choose. And now is like that breaking point, that final step. That first step. And maybe for some it is the final. But it can make people cry. It can make people not use public bathrooms. It can make people run away and scream. And I know you all know this because of those recent situations. The McDonald's bathroom, people getting checked to see if they have a penis in a bathroom or a vagina. People getting harassed, stall doors being beaten on. It happened to me. It happened to a friend of mine. Somebody yelling across the stall, telling you you're not supposed to be there, asking you if you're a boy or a girl. Those things, they hurt. And because of what we've gone through psychologically as trans people, because of how important that symbol is to us, how important our transition is, and for that small period, even when you're first starting, that's a big part of your life. That is your life. You are becoming what you want to be, and to have that taken away from you by what people say and do, and maybe even not knowingly, it can set you back so far. And sometimes you don't know what to even say or do. And I just hope you realize how important that is. And even a casual word or slip of the tongue or whispers about it can really affect someone. So I wanted to give people some tips about generally approaching trans people, but specifically about the bathroom that you may not be aware of. Obviously, don't harass people. Don't engage in a physical confrontation or initiate something. And don't try to be a jerk. Those are very simple. Everybody understands those. Don't stare. Even if you think that nobody's going to notice you when washing your hands at the sink staring, people pick up on that. Don't knock on the stall. Don't make whispers about them when they're just leaving or coming in. Don't, stop in the middle of your conversation and be silent. Don't ask them if they really belong there. Don't ask about what's in their pants. Because would you want someone to ask that about you? Never, ever, under any circumstance, ask someone, in any situation, are you a boy or a girl? And don't say, when someone tells you, I'm transgender, for example, a transgendered woman, oh, so you're really a boy. No, she's not. And if you really, really want to know, you're really curious, not just because you want to be entertained or just because you want an answer to what gender identity that person has, but if you really want to learn more about it and you want to ask that person, don't ask the question in the bathroom, because that's not a space where you want to do that. Things you can do and should do, and most people will thank you beyond belief if you approach them the right way. Excuse me, I just really want to learn more about it, but how do you identify? And would you mind talking with me about your experience? Because it's very interesting to me and I want to know more. And I don't want to hurt you, I want to help you. Things like that, I want to be on your side. Even just, what pronoun do you prefer? That's a great question. Because sometimes people won't pick either. And there are always resources out there for you. PFLAG's a great resource. Many people like myself have blogs on YouTube to talk about their transgender experiences. And we're always willing to educate. And we're not scary. And we're not freaks. And when we go to the bathroom, that's all we really want to do is just go to the bathroom. Just like everyone else. So, I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this, and I encourage you to access those resources, to get in touch with people who can help teach you, and maybe you even know some trans people out there, and just pass this along, because this is so important to all of us, and it's something that we're trying to get out there. So thank you again.